Well, we came to you as a friend had given me your name, and we had made an appointment, which I hadn't really thought about much, but knew it was coming up in April. In March of 2013, Samantha was diagnosed with ADHD by a certified psychologist. And after that, I had gone to a psychiatrist so that we could pursue where to go with that and potential medication for Samantha. Samantha was in the 5th grade at the time, and she was having a very hard time. She was doing poorly in school. She had no friends at the time. She had a terrible relationship with her sisters. She had constant meltdowns and very loud and violent ones. So we needed to do something. And this definitely made sense with the ADHD as far as the thing that I saw. So it just so happened we had finished up the appointment with this psychiatrist. I had gone to get the medication. I held on to it because I just couldn't give it to her. I just hadn't decided. And we met with you the next day. Samantha and I walked in. You immediately put us at ease. You did your testing with her, which from my standpoint seemed, a little different, alternative. But it made sense. And you gave us the opportunity to do something different. You had told us that you could help her without the medication. And you convinced me not to give it to her and to give this a try. So I believe the first thing you did was to detox her little body, because apparently there were a lot of toxins that had built up over the years because her body just couldn't handle it. So we did that, and then you had also given her some supplements to help her neurotransmitters, her pituitary gland, her thyroid, and the other big thing you had recommended was a gluten-free diet and a diet free of artificial flavors and colors. So this was a little hard for our family to take, but I was determined to try something. I did not want to put Samantha on medicine. I've seen what it does to other children, and I wanted to give this a good go. So 3 weeks later, after we've given it a great go, 3 weeks, Samantha comes home from school, puts her school books down, and immediately starts her homework. I'm looking at her and thinking, okay. This continues on for the next however many weeks. She'll come home, get her snack, do her homework without me. So she's always constantly needed my help, my supervision. I'd asked at school, the teacher said she'd been doing better in the class, she'd been doing better on her tests. Things were moving along. So 6 weeks later, I find out she's done this science project in class. The whole class has participated in a science fair. Samantha won the entire thing in her classroom. She did the project by herself in the class during free time. Not any of my help, not any of the teachers helped. Her ideas. She did the presentation. Her bulletin board was beautiful, and this was all on her own. It's like she had started coming out of a fog, and I was so proud of her. At that point, there's still some emotional instability, some other issues we still noticed, but I would say a year later, she has done so well in the 6th grade. Her grades have been great. She hasn't missed but maybe a few assignments, so her organizational skills have improved dramatically. She's made 5 new friends. Okay. She has a group of friends, and I can't tell you of all the things that probably makes me the happiest for her, because she feels good about herself now, and she feels happy. She herself feels good. She notices the difference. We have not gone back on gluten. We have still stayed free of all the artificial flavors and colors and preservatives. And she's still taking some supplements for her mood and for the neurotransmitters. But she's just been a delightful little girl. She's getting along much better with her siblings. And at home, quite honestly, the meltdowns have nearly disappeared. I can't, I'm trying to remember, maybe one about 4 months ago. That was 20 seconds, it was over. But it's been a pretty dramatic change in our household, and I'm so pleased.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. You know, the United States has only 4% of the world's population and uses 70% of the world's ADHD medication. We are over-medicating our children.
Wow.
And in Samantha's case, she did not need it. She needed to be detoxified. She needed some neurotransmitter support. She needed some hormonal support. And she needed to know that she could do this on her own, and with a gluten-free diet and a low sugar and preservative-free and food dye-free diet. The body started healing, and I'm so proud of her, and she's done so well, and she's such a delight. So thank you for sharing this. This is a true legacy story. Samantha sharing her legacy, how she won't be on ADHD medication for her lifetime.
No, we have no plans to ever put her on it. And, you know, quite honestly, she's just a different child, and her teachers have noticed the same. She's had a tutor that helped her sort of at the end of 5th grade, and then went on maternity leave and came back mid-year, and she noticed a huge change when she would come back and work with Samantha on her classwork. So it's just not me noticing it. It's teachers, it's grandparents, her dad, who was not quite on board but is completely on board now, and Samantha, like I said, Samantha herself, she feels much more confident that she's been able to make this change. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your story.